Hi there, good afternoon. This is Dhaka, Bangladesh. I am walking from Banani, which I showed yesterday, into Gulshan. These are the nicer, newer, more modern parts of the city here. So my plan for today is to kind of do what I did in the last video, which is walk along and talk about some stuff while also giving an impression of this part of the city. I kind of decided I didn't really want to make a tour video of the city and instead just walk through this area and show you what it's like. It is not, as interesting as what I was showing in the older parts, of Dhaka. So I'm going to tell a story that is very recent and very relevant. There's going to be some good news for my viewers as well, which I will explain a little bit later, but there is a lot to get to in this video. So, today is January 22nd. I have a flight tomorrow to Kolkata, India. I am not taking that flight, I'm pretty sure at this point. But my getting denied entry into India that I am referring to in the title occurred 1 week ago today. So I was not supposed to fly from Bangkok, Thailand to Dhaka, Bangladesh, which is what I did 6 days ago, last Monday. Today is Sunday. Instead, I was supposed to fly from Phuket Island, Thailand, direct to Kolkata, India. I keep seeing this truck with the guys on it. The traffic obviously isn't moving much because I'm walking as fast as they're going. So I had a flight from Phuket, Thailand to Kolkata, India. And then I had another flight from Kolkata, India to Dhaka, Bangladesh here for 4 days later after that flight. I arrived at the airport in Phuket, Thailand to catch my flight to Kolkata and saw a sign showing what you needed for the flight. And you needed a PCR COVID test, which I did not have. I did not realize that I needed. So I visited India last spring, about 9 months ago, and I did not need a COVID test to enter at that time. My proof of vaccination was enough. And of course, most countries over the past 6 months or so have been loosening up, not tightening up. And so I didn't think to check that there would be a change in the entry requirements for India. It turned out the change had just taken effect 1 week earlier, and it only applied to 5 or 6 or so countries in Asia because of the increasing pandemic in China. And so they were requiring this COVID test for anyone flying from China, and then Japan, Singapore, and Thailand, and a couple of other countries. But if you fly to India from somewhere else, then you don't need the COVID test. So it is something that I likely wouldn't have even figured out if I'd looked online. It's really confusing trying to find out the requirements these days, because you find old information giving different requirements and whatnot. So anyways, I could not catch that flight. I could not get a COVID test in time right there at the airport to be able to board that flight. So I had to cancel my plans and figure something else out. Pardon the noise distraction, but I figured this would be more interesting to explain here on the streets, despite the noise and everything, than hanging out in my room just talking there. At least you get to see something. So, on the spot, I turn my computer on and start searching online for other flight options. Let's get across the street while we can. So I'm, thinking about what can I do. I just want to get out of there now because I'm there all packed up at the airport. Let's just do it and get going. So what I ended up doing is finding a good direct flight from Bangkok, Thailand to Dhaka here, and that was leaving the next day. And then I found a flight from Phuket to Bangkok that same day. It was later in the evening. And so I booked those two flights. So I hung out there at the airport for the next 6 hours or something, waiting for that flight to Bangkok. Caught the flight to Bangkok. Spent a night at a hotel, which you saw if you saw that video about the flight. And then the next day, caught my flight from Bangkok to Dhaka here 1 week ago, or 6 days ago rather, last Monday. Now, part of my planning was that I had learned that I did not need the COVID test to travel to India from Bangladesh, because it was not in that short list of countries in which the COVID test was required. So I thought, okay, well, I'm going to lose out a little bit on these flights, but they weren't expensive. I will mention the prices in a second, because there's more factored into this. You'll see what I mean. And so I figured that I would stay, however long, a week or so in Bangladesh, and then catch a flight from Dhaka to Kolkata, and then continue on into India from there. But those plans got messed up just a few hours ago today because of a comment from a viewer. So thanks to that viewer for alerting me to this, because I would have been dealing with a exact same situation tomorrow as I dealt with a week ago if I hadn't gotten this comment from somebody telling me that even though I'm flying from Bangladesh to India, because of the fact that I was in Thailand less than 2 weeks ago, the COVID test requirement still applies. Hello, sir. So I still need the COVID test if I take the flight tomorrow. So I started thinking, what do I want to do? I looked into the PCR testing situation. There is a laboratory right nearby. It will take like 12 hours or so to get the results for that test, but it's a whole pain in the butt in which you need to have your passport. I mean, that's fine, but then you need a copy of the passport, you need a printout of your flight, and then something else. Oh, you need a Bangladeshi phone number, which they don't have, of course, and then there was something else you need to have printed out, and then you got to make the appointment and then go over there, and then you got to wait for the results later tonight, not knowing what's going to happen, and then just the stress of worrying about the results, even though almost certainly, I will pass, it will be negative, but it's just a stressful experience waiting for that, not knowing how your plans could be really screwed up if you happen to test positive. And so the whole situation, combined with the fact that I have another week left on my Bangladeshi visa, and the fact that I only saw Dhaka, and I wanted to see more of Bangladesh, and I know that you guys wanted to see more of Bangladesh, I realized, you know what? Let's just stay for the week. And then I will be 14 days in Bangladesh, and the PCR test is no longer required. And so then I don't have to deal with that at all. I can just show up at the border of India and show my vaccination proof and be let in, as much as I understand. I'm pretty sure that that is the case. So further, I looked into land border crossings. And so this is where it gets especially interesting and totally different from my previous plan. So people have been recommending Sylhet in the north. There's also Cox's Bazar and Bandarban in the south, but I'm more interested in going north rather than like a Long Beach just does not interest me right now. There's more to see down south as well that sounds really interesting, but it's going to be, you know, long distances and time getting places, and so I decided that I'm most likely going to go to Sylhet, and from there there's a land border crossing right near there into northeastern India towards the city of Shillong, which looks really, really interesting. And then from there I can continue my travels through northeast India, which I'd wanted to see. I am then going right past Bhutan and can decide if I want to do that, and then head in the direction of where I was headed for with my other plan, which is Darjeeling and Sikkim. So it's a different plan with ultimately a similar destination, and it should be really, really super interesting. I will probably then get to Kolkata later after all that at the end, and then maybe fly out of Kolkata. So that is the new plan. I'm going to think on it over the course of today, but I think that that all around makes more sense. For one thing, it's now the afternoon and I haven't done the PCR thing, and I really don't want to do it now that it's later, have to go through all that rigmarole. So I think that this is what is going to be the new plan, and that means one more week of videos from Bangladesh. So it's really a win-win for everybody. Tomorrow I will plan to go to a city very nearby called, now I forget, Sonarnog, something like that. That looks really cool. Probably just as a day trip, come back here and then get up to Sylhet and then spend like 5-6 days there and explore around, and it will be totally different from Dhaka. Like a really lovely looking countryside, very green, a smaller city, and I'm sure lots to see around there. So that is the new plan. Hopefully then I will not be denied entry to India again, but I think that this will work and it's going to be a lot of fun. So now I'm headed for the Yamuna, is that what it was called? Future Park. It's just a big mall, but I'm curious to see it. So I will make that another video. So stay tuned, more coming from Bangladesh.